Yeah. Okay. So we got here Friday. Oh man, not too short. Okay, we gotta hurry up. Yud Beis. Yes, Haaretz Hashem Esati Le'Avram Yitzchak L'Chat Neno. Hashem was bring to Yaakov land that I have given to Avram and Yitzchak. I will give to you. L'Zarach Acharecha Tinas Haaretz, and to your seed after you, I will give the land. Yud Beis, Yud Gimel. Vayal Me'elav Elikim. Hashem's presence left him. Amokim Asher Dibito, at the place where he had spoken with him. Yaakov erected a monument at the place where Hashem had spoken with him. And he poured a drink offering over it. And he poured oil on it. At the place where he had spoken with him. I don't know what this teaches us.
We haven't looked at the Rashi yet.
Rashi said, I don't know what this speaks about.
Where
I don't know why it's Rashi Yudal saying, I don't know what this is teaching us, that he erected a monument at the place.
Okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't even question it. That's even more surprising.
Why should he question it?
Why should he question it? Because first of all, it came to be something illegal to do later on in the Torah.
That's not later on, it's now. Why would he question? I mean, it's not then. The question, so actually in the bottom, Yaakov erected a monument at the place where God had spoken with him, a stone monument. He poured a drink offering over it and poured oil on it. Okay. Tes Vav. Ayikra Yaakov Hashem Hamakim Asher Dibrei Shem Elikim Beis El. Yaakov named the place where God had spoken with him Beis El.
Is this the place where he had the dream, or this is a new place? Let's see. I can't remember. This is where he had no.
Yeah. So Yaakov named the place where God had spoken with him Beis El. Tes Zayin. Kivras Aretz.
Oh.
That's the next thing. By years from Beis El, they then journeyed from Beis El by Yoid Kivras Aretz Lavei Ephrasa. And there was still a different distance until Ephras, when Rachel gave birth. But Taylor Rachel at the Kav Pelita, and she had difficulty in birth. Kivras Aretz. Menachem Perish Lashon Kabir. Menachem explains the word in the sense of much. Ribui. Malach Rav, a great distance. In the Agada explanation is at the time of year. So the simple meaning is it's a measurement of distance. They're a great distance until Ephras. They're on the way, and she started giving birth. The deeper meaning is that the land was full of holes like a sieve. Sieve? Sieve. Where there's plenty of plowed ground when winter has passed, but dry season has not come yet. But this is not the plain sense of the verse. We find the connection with Naaman. He went away from him. I am of the opinion that it is a name for a measure of land, approximate distance of a parsa, 8,000 cubits or more, as you find similar types of expressions referring to measures of land, tzimdei cherem, chelkas hasada. So the Medrash think it's a time of year when it was like this. Rashi is not even it's a measurement of land, parsa. So we find that the distance of walking a day for a person is called a kivras aretz. Basically, yeah. Yod Zayin, Vayhi Bashkoisa Belidata, when she was having difficulty giving birth, she said to her, the midwife, do not be afraid, for this one too is a son for you. In addition to Yosef. However, our rabbis explain that with the birth of each tribe, a twin sister was born. And with Binyamin, Nildo Ta'ima Yisera, with Binyamin, an additional twin sister was born. Okay.
I don't understand all these twin sisters. Makes absolutely no sense.
There's two opinions in the Medrash of who the wives of the tribes were. Some say that they each were born with a twin sister, and they married each other's different. They married a half sister, meaning, let's say Yehuda was born with a twin sister. So Yehuda's twin sister married God.
Yehuda married Canaanite.
So I just wait. You're saying wait. Get Yehuda. Let's start with the other ones. Reuven. Reuven is married with born with a twin sister, and Naphtali is born with a twin sister. They each married each other's twin sisters. Meaning each one married the other. So they married a half sister. That's one opinion. Another opinion says they all married Canaanite women. So there's two opinions. In this case, we're going according to the one that they were married. They were born with twin sisters, and Benjamin was born with three. So it was actually triplets. So that was, I guess, a difficult birth, an extra difficult birth. Because Yirches, as her life ebbed, for she was dying, she named the child Ben Aini, which means the son of my distress. Aviv Karle Binyamin, a very mournful name, the son of my distress. But his father renamed him Binyamin. So yeah, that's actually what he was called. Ben Oni means Ben Sari, the son of my distress. Binyamin, Nira Beinai Levishu, Levadi Nil Baris Kanan Shiba Negev. I'm of the opinion that he was so called because he alone was born in the land of Canaan, which is to the south. When a person comes from Aram Narayim, as it says, in the south country in the land of Canaan, traveling steadily southwards. The name Binyamin means son of the south. Yeah, son of the south. The word Yamin having the same meaning as in the north and the south you created. Therefore, it's written here in full with a yud after the mem. Another explanation: Binyamin means the son of days, because he was born when Yaakov was old. It's written here with a nun instead of the more useful mem, as we find the end of days hayamin.
This Benoni is different from the Benoni of the Tanya, right?
What?
This Benoni is different from the Benoni of the Tanya. Okay.
It's Beinani. It's a different word.
Beinani.
It's a different.
Beinani.
It's one word. This is two words.
In between. Okay.
Ben Yamin. The right is always the north because you're facing east. The right's right facing east. No, south. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The south. If you're facing east, south is the right.
Mm-hmm.
So he was born in a place. He was the only one born in Canaan, which is south of Aram Narayim. I believe Aram Narayim. That's where Lavan was, right? Aram Narayim, I think. That was Haran.
That's Haran.
So what's Aram Narayim? I'm not sure why. Either way, I'm not sure he went to Aram Narayim. I'm not sure. Regardless, is he was coming from the north to the south. Haran's like Syria. So he's coming north. So why is he called Ben Yamin? He's the son of the south because he's born in the south. Every other 11 of the 11 children were born where?
It's not that they're traveling east. It's just that that's the name for the south. Right.
Yamin is a term for south. Exactly.
Right.
And that's why it's written with two yuds, because it wants to Ben Yamin. Another interpretation of Ben Yamin is Ben Yamin, a son of days. He was a son of his, born in his old age. So the nun is Leketza Yamin. Yutes Vatamas Rachel died. Vatikar b'derech Efrasa he Beis Lachem, and she was buried in the road to Ephras, that is Beis Lachem. Yeah, it's good. Ramnaraim is far up there.
At the bottom, it says a bunch of stuff. I don't know if that.
Yeah, I don't really get all the details, but yeah, it's
No, at the bottom. Only at the bottom. Help you tell. There's In the words and type.
Oh, 1 second. Cool. Yeah. The black arrow is going back down. I feel like around that I am. That's where Avram was from.
That was where Avram was originally from. Yeah. No, he was from the Pechal.
Aram the Ryan. Aram, Avram.
Ur. Is that the same thing?
Ur Kastim. I'm not sure. This deserves a Google check. Is Aram Naharaim the same as Haran? Okay, Haran, Aram Naharaim is the region, which is ancient Mesopotamia. Haran was a big city in that region. All right, good.
Yeah.
So, moving along. Yud Tes, Vatamas Rachel died, Vatikaver Dechfrasa, she's bearing the road to Ephras, he Beslachem, Beslachem. Chaf, Vayatzev Yaakov Matzev al Kfurasa, Yaakov erected a monument on her grave, he Matzeves Kfuras Rachel Leoim, it is the monument of Rachel's grave to this day. Chafalav, Vayisa Yisrael, you're there?
I think so.
Cool. Yisrael journeyed by Aloi Mihalal Middle Eder. He set up his tent beyond Middle Eder. Chabez Vahi Bishkan Yisrael Be'eretz Hahi. It was when Yisrael was running that land. Vayilech Reuben went. Vayishkav as Billah Pilegashavim. He went and literally it means he laid with Billah, his father's concubine. Vayishma Yisrael heard. Vayivne Yaakov Shemasar. And the sons of Yaakov were 12. Rashi comments.
Could that possibly happen?
Let's listen. Let's see.
Why didn't Bilhah prevent it?
Let's see. Bishkoin Yisrael Be'eretz Hahi. When Israel was residing in that land, Rashi, before he came to Yitzchak in Hebron, all these troubles befell him. So it says a lot of the troubles happened. Why I'm saying at that land? Because a lot of the troubles happened that last like year and a half when he was dwelling in Sukkot, where he delayed coming back. Whatever his logic of delaying was, that's where. Wasn't a good thing, so a lot of bad things happened. V'yishkav, he laid. So Rashi is going to translate as not literally he laid, he slept with Bilhah. Rather, because he interfered, he disarranged the location of Yaakov's bed, the Torah depicts it in this very crass way. In other words, what did he do? He basically put, Rachel died. Rachel is the main wife. Yaakov's main bed was in Rachel's tent. Okay? And after Rachel died, the question, who's going to be the main wife now? Where Yaakov's bed be placed? And he switches it. We'll see where and who. Why did he disarrange and profane his father's couch? For when Rachel died, Yaakov took his bed, which is ordinarily Rachel's tent and not on the other tents, and put it in Bilhah's tent. Reuben then came to protest his mother's shame. He said, if my mother's sister was my mother's rival wife, is it proper that my mother's sister's handmaid should be her rival wife? Therefore, he disarranged his father's bed and moved to his mother's tent. Meaning, he moved it to Bilhah, which was Rachel's maidservant, and he said, what about a front? Leah should have been at least the second choice. So he moved it. Now, even a Yaakov Shema, so Yaakov's sons were 12. It starts again the previous subject. When Binyamin was born, Yaakov's bed was complete, and the sons were now fitting to be counted, so the verse counts them. And our rabbis explain this count comes to teach us that they were all equal and all righteous, because Reuben did not really sin. In other words, to the rabbis, they say it's not literal, because he couldn't do such a thing literally and be called oh, well, he's part of the 12 tribes. It says it must mean that it's a much more subtle mistake. And that's why he's still righteous. He's righteous, but made a mistake versus a horrible sin, like the way it would be literally. Chav Gimel, Bnei Leah, Bechar Yaakov, Reuven, the sons of Leah, the eldest of Yaakov was Reuven. B'Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zvulun. Chav Dalet, Bnei Rachel, the sons of Rachel, Yosef, Binyamin. Chafei, Bnei Vila, Shivchas Rachel, Daman Naphtali. the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's maidservant, done in Naphtali. Okay. Rashi Chav Gimel, the Bechor Yaakov, the Yaakov's firstborn, meaning Afila b'shas kakala krei Bechor. Again, even when we're talking about Ruvain's mistake, the Torah is still calling him a firstborn. In other words, it can't be that like blatant of a sin. It has to be much more subtle. And he's still considered that firstborn. He's still considered righteous. He's still part of the 12 holy sons. Bechor Yaakov, the eldest of Yaakov.
So one of the commentators say he didn't move the bed.
No, they
Or
said
he
he did.
did.
He didn't.
Right.
He didn't. But he didn't. That means he laid with her. That's what it's saying.
Ah.
Bechor Yaakov. Yaakov's firstborn. The firstborn for inheritance, the firstborn for service, and the firstborn in counting the tribes. So he would have had all those things. He would have had the firstborn, 2 portions of the land of Israel, firstborn to be to do the divine service, the Kohen work, and he would have been the firstborn to be counted and count the tribes.
Wow.
So 3 perks of being the firstborn, but the first right was given, firstborn right was given to Yosef only with regard to the tribes. And he became 2 tribes. So it sounds like to me here that at this point, let me see the Chumash you have there.
So this is the originator that the firstborn gets double right here.
Probably.
Whoa, originator. Here, Michal.
Why does it say
So
it gets double?
Yosef gets. He's the firstborn.
No, not Yosef. Reuven would get.
Reuben. You said
Reuben, yeah.
It switched.
It doesn't really talk about it.
The birthright
Who's the
was-
firstborn of the
birthright
tribe?
as to the tribes was given to Yosef.
Yosef. So Yosef gets
2
double-
tribes. He has 2 tribes. But
2 tribes, and that's
it sounds like at this point, Reuven was going to still get.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That sounds like the same as Nachala.
That's not the same as inheritance. I don't.
no, but it's the beginning of the firstborn. He's
I'm
the
not
first-
sure. At this point, Reuven would have gotten everything. He would have gotten firstborn. It sounds like, I think there's a whole Rashi sikh on this, by the way. I remember seeing this. I'm a little bit fuzzy now. But it's probably in the Gutnik, but maybe we'll see it later. All right, whatever.
It's the firstborn.
In that he became 2 tribes.
Chav Zayin of Bnei Zilpa Shevchas Leah, the Bnei Zilpa, the maidservant of Leah, Gad Asher,
Okay.
Ela Bnei Yaakov Ashulad Leib of Padan Aram. These are the sons of Yaakov born to him Padan Aram. Chav Zayin, Vayava Yaakov Yitzchak Aviv. Yaakov came to Yitzchak, his father, Mamre, Kiryas Ha'arba, the plain of Hebron. He Hebron Asher Garsham Yav Yitzchak, which is Hebron where Avram Yitzchak had sojourned. Chav Zayin Mamre Shem Mishra is the name of a plain. Kiryas Arba. Thank you. Kiryas Arba is the name of the city. This means, so Mamre is the plain of the city of Kiryas Arba. If you ask the verse of written Mamre HaKiryas Arba, whatever, and then the definitive article should have been prefixed to the noun, not to the adjective. Not the plain of the city, but the plain of this, not the plain of city, but the plain of the city. This is the Torah. This is okay. You can write. This is the way the Torah writes when it's a double word. It's just this case. Beis El, Aviezer, Beis Lechem, wherever it has prefix is placed for the second word. As we've written, Be'alach, Beis Alachmi, in the town of Beis Halachmi, Aviezri, Beis Eli. All right, let's get to the end, and we'll see if we have time for that thing. Okay, so Chav Tches, Yitzchak's days were 180 years. Rashi, Chav Tes, Yitzchak passed away and was gathered unto his people. Zakin is Fayamim, old in his days fulfilled. Esav Yaakov Banav, and his son Esav Yaakov buried him. Yitzchak passed away. Ein Muktam Mucha Torah. Torah is not necessarily written in chronological order. The sale of Yosef preceded Yaakov's death by 12 years. When Yaakov was born, Yitzchak was 60 years old. As it says, Yitzchak was in his 60th year. Yitzchak died in the 120th year of Yaakov's life. Or if you deduct 60 from 180 years, one is left with 120. The truth is, he died. He didn't actually die right now. This is out of order chronologically in the story, because the story next week of Yosef's selling was Yitzchak was still alive. How does he do it? Here's the math. Yitzchak was 60 was when Yaakov was born. First says it clearly. Yitzchak died in the 120th year of Yaakov's life, right? So 60 plus 120 is 180. And Yosef was sold in his 17th year. It says that clearly. He was 17 at his selling. That year was Yaakov's 108th year. How do we know that Yaakov was 108 at that time? Because we see Yaakov received the blessing in his 63rd year. He was hidden for 14 years in the study house of Aver, making 77 years. He then worked 14 years for his wives. Yosef was born at the end of those 14 years. As it says, Rachel gave birth to Yosef. Yosef was born at the end of those 14 years. It says, Rachel gave birth to Yosef, making altogether 91 years. Add 17 years before Yosef was sold, and there were 108 years. He worked 14 years for his wives. Yosef was born at the end of those 14 years.
So Yitzhak died when Yosef was 100 and...
Yeah. He worked 14 years for his wives. Yosef was born at the end of those 14 years. It says, when Rachel had given birth to Yosef, making altogether 91 years. And add 17 years for Yosef was sold, and there were 108 years.
So when is the narrative? I mean, in what exact way is this out of chronological order? What's the... Okay, we just...
So basically,
Rachel died. Is that where we are?
Yosef... Add 17 to 91 is 108. What? So you're just doing the math. And there's another way of learning it also. It's furthermore evident from Scripture. Time Yosef was sold till Yaakov came was 22 years. As it says, Yosef was in the 30th year when he stood before Pharaoh, being 13 years after he was sold, and 7 years of plenty and 2 years of famine. Total 22 years. That's written when Yaakov arrived in Mitzrayim. Span of the years of my sojourning has been 130 years. Thus, the time Yaakov was sold, Yaakov was 108.
Time Yosef was sold.
Yeah. So, and we know Yaakov said clearly he was 130, and minus 130 minus 22 is 108. Right? Yeah. So in other words, if Yaakov's 108, Yitzchak is 180 when he died. 180 when he died.
180, yeah.
You have to minus Yaakov was born in Yitzchak's 60th year. So Yitzchak's 180 would be Yaakov's 120. But he's 108 now. Hence, this is not chronological.
Oh, okay. He's 108.
It says Yitzchak died at 180. But if you do the math, Yaakov would have had to have been 120, but he was 108. So in other words, Yitzchak didn't actually die now, it's just telling you this now. Why? He's a dumb. That's why. Doesn't say why.
So he's 108 when Rachel died? Is that what we're pegging? How do we get the one? What are we pegging the 108 to? I mean, how do we
know that? What?
Where are we exactly?
It said Yitzchak died at 180. Is that what's happening now in the story? It cannot be. Because if Yitzchak's dead at 180, died at 180, Yaakov would have had to be 120. But Yaakov is certainly only 108 now, as we proved. We proved Yaakov can only be 108 now at this point.
All right.
Therefore,
okay.
Yitzchak didn't actually pass away now. It's just telling you this fact, but the actual time, and whatever reason it wanted to say it now, doesn't mean it happened now.
What is the marker for what happened we know that Yaakov is 108. What's the
There's
marker?
two markers.
Okay.
Because Yosef, this is right before the story of Yosef. Yosef is going to be
right before the sale of Yosef.
I guess so.
Okay.
So Yosef is 17.
Right. Okay.
I mean, the latest this could, assuming it happened in the same, assuming it's about the same time. I'm assuming it's like Yosef. The Torah says he's 17. He can't be any older than 17. So let's say this is right around then.
Oh, okay. So it's a later time that Yosef is sold. Okay.
No, it's Yosef is sold now.
Right.
Yitzchak is going to pass away later, even though it states that incident now.
He's,
I think that's the main thing, is that Yosef is now, and we also know where Yaakov is now in his life, in the stories, he must be 108 also. Forget Yosef. We know from the stories, forget Yosef, that was a secondary way. First of all, Yaakov's actual life story at this point, with all the incidents, you add them up, is 108.
okay.
So that means Yisrael going to pass away then.
Okay.
I think the main mark would be Yaakov must be 108 at this point.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Perek Lamed Vav. So long today. The Abel told us Esav Hu Edom. These are the descendants of Esav, who is Edom. Beis Esav Lokachas Noshim Beis Canaan. Esav married Canaanite girls. That's Ada Bas Elon Achiti. Ves Alivama Bas Ana Bas Tzivoin Hachivi. He married Ada, the daughter of Elon Achiti, and Alivama, the daughter of Ana, the daughter of Tzivon. Rashi is going to say Ada. His first wife was Ada. This is actually another name for the wife we said earlier, Basmas, Bas Elon. Why is she called Basmas? So her real name was Ada. Her birth, her passport was Ada. She was called Basmas al Shem Shoisim Kateres Besamin Lavidus Lilim. She was called Basmas because she burned spices as incense to idols. Oi. Alivama Yehudis. She was Yehudis. Ukina Shma Yehudis Lema She Keferes Lavidus Lilim Kidahaz Aviv. She was Yehudis. Esav had called her Yehudis, implying that she had denied belief in idol worship so as to deceive his father. Right, wow.
What's so funny?
So when you name your kid Goody Two Shoes, you know. All right. Bas Ana Bas Tzivon, the daughter of Ana, the daughter of Tzivon. Obvious question is, how could she be the daughter of two men? Right? If she's Bas Ana, she's not Bas Tzivon. So the answer is,
he's telling his father that she's Yehudit.
Gross. We said earlier the name of Esav's wife. Early in the Torah, we said he married two women, Basmas and Yehudis. This is before Jew, but so, and the Torah tells you that her real name, her birth certificate, was Alivama. Yehudis was her like affectionate name or nickname that Esav called to deceive his father, that she's Hoda. She's Hoda. She acknowledges God, even though she was idol worshiper.
Right.
She was a two-bit floozy, as they say. As we Bas Ana Bas Tzivon, the daughter of Ana, the daughter of Tzivon. She can't be the daughter of two men. So the answer is, who's Ana? Ana is actually the son of Tzivon. As we see later, Elav and Tzivon va'ayev Ana. So Melamed, that Tzivon.
There was no concept of a Jew then, so I don't understand why.
Right, just a name. It was just a name. It wasn't mean Jew, man. The name. It was a name.
Yeah, but they put Jewish in parentheses there.
The word Yehudis, Jew actually comes from the word Yehuda, comes from gratitude and acknowledgement.
Wow.
Acknowledgement of God, submitting and acknowledging God. So this is a prototype monotheist term, right? Acknowledging God. And that was a lie to deceive, just to say, a mafia movie, Goodfellas. That the guy, I don't know the names, but the guy, the main protagonist, a Jewish girl, marries him. So when she brings him home to her family, he's wearing a big cross. So she tucks in the cross to his shirt. So her Jewish mother in Long Island, shouldn't see it. So Esav did the same thing. Okay.
Wait, these stories.
Okay, let's go. Let's get to finish up. So, anyways, Tzivon basically had an affair with his daughter-in-law, his son's wife, Anna, his son's wife, and therefore, when she had a baby, it was considered both of theirs. And this tells you this to tell you that Esav married into a very immoral people. That there was mamzerim, there was bastards born. That was Esav's wife, a bastardess.
Yaakov and why weren't Yaakov and Rivka worried about this?
Yitzchak, they were. I mean, I think they would be.
Rivka,
actually, it says they were very worried.
Rivka
It says
was
that one opinion says that Rivka for sure, and Yitzchak's eyesight, he says he got blind from their incense to pagan. So I think they were very grieved at it. Esav wasn't exactly, and a nice guy going in his father's ways. All right, Gimel, Ves Basmas, Bas Yishmael, Achais Nevayis. He also married, we see that he married Basmas, the daughter of Yishmael, sister of Nevayot. Rashi says, her name is Basmas. Elsewhere, she's called Machalas. The answer is, we find in the Medrash, of the book of Shmuel, 3 categories of people who are pardoned of their sins. A proselyte who converts to Judaism, it's like you're reborn. One who's appointed to a high position, and one who marries. The Medrash derives the proof from the last case that she was called Machalas because Esav's marriage to her pardoned her sins. Interesting. We learn that she came from not a great, ethical family, but anyway, I got to run.
So a convert cleans up the
Convert.
convert.
Yeah.
How does this guy Esav have the power to convert it to pardon sins?
It's monotheism. No, it's not. It's not. Here's not going to marry. He just got married to her. He didn't convert her. He married her.
So Esav was a monotheist.
That's not the point. No, it's not, I don't think that's the point. The point is it's one of the 3 categories. But it's saying that when you get married, your sins are pardoned, and the proof for that is that you're married, your sins are pardoned is from this story. That her name was Machalas, which means pardoned. Her nickname was Machalas. Her real birth certificate name was Basmas. Her marriage, diminutive name was Machalas because she was pardoned of her sins at the time of the marriage. Achos Nevayos, she was Nevayos' sister, is because he gave her marriage to Esav after Yishmael died. She's therefore mentioned association with him. Hey, Valivama Yalda es Yush es Yalam es Korach. Valivama bore Yush Yalam and Korach. These are the Esav's sons who were born to the land of Canaan. Valivama Yalda Gamer. This Kerach was legitimate. He was the son of Eliphaz, who had relations with his father's wife. He was the son of Eliphaz. So Eliphaz actually cheated with his father's wife. And we see later Korach is enumerated under Eliphaz's chief. Oy. Days of our lives, Days.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
The original soap operas.
Esav.
the original soap opera.
Yeah, the soap operas were more after Esav's family. Biblical TV wasn't. It's not as popular.
We needed TV. You didn't need television then.
I'm saying now, all the immorality that makes TV
real life.
Vav. Esav took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the members of his household, his livestock, his animals, and all his belongings, and all that he acquired in the land of Canaan. And he went to another land because of Yaakov's brother.
Quite a statement. You got to realize what a statement that is, that he's giving up the land of Canaan and going to Seir.
Yeah.
Because Canaan is our blessing.
Yeah, and Esav's leaving it. Exactly.
Unbelievable that he quietly does that.
Yep. The Torah says, why did he leave? So it makes a reason. Their property of Esav was too great for them to live. Of Esav and Yaakov was too great for them to live together. The land cannot accommodate them because of their livestock. Rashi says the land where they lived could not provide sufficient pasture for their animals. But the Medrash says the real reason he left was because of Yaakov. As it ends off in verse 6, B'nei Yaakov Achiv. Meaning because of the bill, what does it mean because of Yaakov? There's a bill of debt of the decree to Abraham that your descendants will be foreigners in a land that is not theirs. That was imposed on Abraham and Yitzchak's descendants. Esau says, I shall go away from here. I don't want to have to deal with the curse of Yitzchak. I don't want to have to go to slavery. I wish to have no part in this, not in the gift of this land that was given to Yitzchak and the Avram, nor in the payment of the bill of debt, the realization of the decree of going to slavery. That's why he wanted to leave the whole destiny of Yitzchak, which involved some challenge. Another reason why he went away was because of the shame he felt by having sold his birthright, which is the exact opposite logic.
Yes, it is.
It's the exact opposite. One is that he doesn't want to deal with it. One is he feels bad that he didn't deal with it. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Ches, Vayeshev Esav Har Seir, Esav then settled in Mount Seir. Esav who Edom, Esav is Edom. Tes, Ve'elo told us Esav Avi Edom. These are the descendants of Esav, Har Seir. The ancestor, the place of Edom in Mount Seir. Ve'elo, these are the descendants which his son fathered after he went to Seir. Yod, Elish Meis Bnei Esav. These are the names of Esav's sons. Eliphaz ben Ada, Eshav's Esav. Eliphaz son of Ada, Esav's wife. Ruel ben Bas Eshav's Esav. Ruel, the son of Bas Esav's wife. Yirav Yivnei Eliphaz. Eliphaz's sons were Teman, Omar, Tzafo, Vagata, Knaz. Okay, Yud Aleph. Yud Beis.
Ruel is not Yitro.
No, it's all other names. Yeah. Yud Beis. V'simna ha'yisaf filagesh Eliphaz bas Esav. Timna was a concubine to Eliphaz. Esav son of Taylor, Eliphaz says Amalek. She bore Amalek. Ela b'nei Ada, Esav's Avram. These are the sons of Esav, wife. The sons of Ada, Esav's wife. Rashi. The Ela is including the descendants of these in Tessan are the ones he fathered after he moved. Yud Beis. Timna was a concubine. This is written to tell you of Avram's greatness, expressed by how eager people were to attach themselves to descendants. This Timna was the descendant of chieftains, as it says, and Lotan's sister was Timna. And Lotan was one of the chieftains who inhabited Seir, of the Chorim, who were the original inhabitants of the land. She said to Eliphaz, maybe I'm not worthy to be your wife, if only I could be your concubine. In Divrei Yamim, she's counted among the children of Eliphaz. This teaches us that he had relations with Seir's wife, and Timna was born from them. Lotan was Timna, and Lotan was one of the chieftains. So she's also counted as a child of Eliphaz, which is weird. So this teaches that Eliphaz had relations with Seir's wife, and Tim was born from them. And when she grew up, his bastard daughter became his concubine. Mm-hmm. Days of her lives continues. Yet she is not counted among the descendants of Seir, for she was his maternal sister, but not his paternal sister.
Complicated. Why did she have to give birth to Amalek?
She did. I don't know.
That's horrible.
Yud Gimel. The Ela b'nei stuff happens, you know. Ela b'nei Ruel Nachas Zerach Shama. These are the sons of Ruel Nachas Zerach Shama Umiza. Ela hayu b'nei Basmas Eisha Esav. These are the sons of Basmas Esav's wife. Yudalid. Ela hayu b'nei Alivama Bas Ana Bas Tzivon Eisha's Esav. These are the sons of Alivama, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Tzivon, Esav's wife. Vatel Esav es Yeush ves Yalm es Korach. She bore Esav Yeush Yalm Korach. Ela Elufei b'nei Esav. These are the chieftains of the children of Esav. B'nei Eliphaz, B'char Esav, the sons of Eliphaz, Esav's firstborn. Aluf Teman, Aluf Omar, Aluf Tzavo, Aluf Kenaz. The chief.
That's not the Korach we are.
No.
Well, different Korach.
Elufei b'nei Esav. These are the chieftains of Esav. Reishi Mishpachis. Okay, Tes Zion. Aluf Korach, Aluf Gatam, Aluf Amalek. Chief Korach, Chief Gatam, Chief Amalek. Eluf said, them is the chieftains of Eliphaz in the land of Edom, Ela b'nei Ada. In Zion, Ela b'nei Ruel, these are sons of Ruel, the son of Esav. Aluf Nachas, Aluf Tzarach, Aluf Shama, Aluf Miza, Ela, Eluf Emeris, these are the chieftains of Ruel, land of Edom, Ela, Bene, Basmas, Esav. These are the sons of Basmas, Esav's wife. Yudchas, Be'ela, Bene, Alivama, Esav. These are the sons of Alivama. Aluf Yush, Aluf Yalam, Aluf Korach, Ela, Aluf Alivama, Basana, Esav. These are the sons of chieftains of Alivama, daughter of Anna, Esav's wife. Ela, Bene, Yotas, Ela, Bene, Yesav. These are the children of Esav, Ela, Alufayim. These are the chieftains, Esav Wede. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Rabbi, just to let you know that I'm still here. I've always kind of wondered, why is it helpful for us to know the lineage of, for instance, Esau?
It's going to say, actually, later, I think in the beginning of next week's parasha, or maybe tomorrow even, it's going to say, it shows you how I think it relegates Esav to a quick afterthought, like a quick side story. Like he's a son of Yitzchak. He's a big deal, right? Ultimately, he becomes a secondary story. And next week's parsha is going to go, it says gives an example of when you lose a pearl in the sand, you sift through a lot of sand to find the pearl, right? You sift to find a lot of sand. You sift, right? So Ace is like the sand. He's peripheral. Let's just go through him quickly. And now let's have the long developed life history of Yaakov's sons.
Yeah, but we need a Malak in there, and Malak is Hitler.
You mentioned Amalek. I mean, also, look, I would also say on a deeper level is that we know the story of humanity is ultimately Yaakov refining Esav, is the Jewish people spreading monotheism and Torah to the greater world, in particular the Western world, which was fathered by Rome, which is ultimately comes from Esav. So you have to know a little bit of, because ultimately we need Esav. We need Esav's descendants, right? We're not here to just be Jewish and go to heaven. Everybody else, forget about them. But Esav becomes